Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. WrestleMania 39 Saturday. Holy snap, what a show. There are two matches on this show that if I did a top 10 WrestleMania shows right now, one of them definitely is going to be on there. The other one probably should be on there. And I was hoping they weren't going to kill the crowd at the end, but they didn't, thank God. The crowd made that main event, the crowd made it. So let's start at the top. We have the return of John Cena. Now, is John Cena back? Or is it just John Cena here for a bit? I'm not sure. He hasn't really cut a lot of promos, so I don't know if it's just a one-off to get him on TV because it's Mania. Or if it's, maybe a part-time run, he'll do some other stuff. I don't know. But we had United States title on the line. We had champion Austin Theory going up against John Cena. John Cena made his WrestleMania debut, I think it's at 2004-ish, 5, whatever year that was, for the U.S. title. So you kind of set it up a lot for Cena to win. Obviously, the Cena matches are a lot of kind of the same routine. He gets beat down, has his Cena run, you think he's going to win, he doesn't win. And it takes heel tactics by Austin Theory. I love the fact the referee got knocked down by accident. And then Cena had Theory in the STF. Theory taps. Cena thought he won. Realized the referee's down because he didn't hear the bell. Theory low blows him. The referee comes up. Theory hit the TKO, I think it's what he's calling it still, and gets the pinfall. I'm like, that was pretty epic how all that went down. I ended up giving it 3 1/4. I enjoyed it, to be honest with you. Some people may not have, but I actually did. Next up, we had a Fatal 4-Way men's tag team match. We have a women's tomorrow, which I don't know the point of this. It's not a number 1 contender match. I just don't understand. But okay, let's throw some random old tag match on the card to get everyone on WrestleMania cards. So we have the Street Profits, Angelo, Dawkins, Montez going up against Alpha Academy, Gable, Otis, and Braun, Strowman, Ricochet, whatever, versus the Viking Raiders, Erik and Ivar. It was okay, but monsters don't need to go to the top rope. Yeah, Braun Strowman, you need to stay off the top rope. Ivar, you need to stay off the top rope as well. When Ivar does a moonsault, and I'm going to say it looked a lot like Brock Lesnar doing a moonsault at WrestleMania. Yeah, it did. It was okay, but big boys don't need to be flying like that. And then Braun Strowman going up and trying to do a frog splash or whatever the hell he was trying to do. I'm like, oh my god. And neither move hit. That was what was bad. If they would have hit, that would have been kind of cool. But both of them were like, no. But once again, we have these Street Profits getting the victory. Yay, Street Profits. Y'all like me? Are you tired of the Street Profits? We need to change this up a little bit. I mean, there's not a lot of tag teams. And most of these tag teams are forced. It's just like, come on, guys. You want tag titles, but you force tag teams together because you only have a couple of legit tag teams. I know. Can I have Ciampa and Gargano reunite DIY and go out and dominate? That would be awesome. Ooh, can we do that now, especially? But yeah, I give this match, I give it 3 1/4. It was worth watching. Those top rope spots were worth it. I mean, big boys trying to fly up top rope. But next up, we had Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. Oh my god, this was a train wreck. That was awesome. I mean, Logan Paul can wrestle. Let's just go there. Logan Paul can wrestle. I've enjoyed every one of his matches. They've been comical. They've been worth watching. Going in with somebody like a Seth Rollins. This is like an AJ wrestling Kevin Nash back in the day. Better than that. I'm not even going to put Logan Paul in that category. But Seth Rollins is a generational talent. Going up against Logan Paul. Again, athletic guy who can wrestle. Huge spots in this match. Logan Paul, was beating down Seth, had Seth laying on the... Oh, yeah, by the way, there was a Prime mascot running around outside. He's dressed in the Prime, I guess that's what the drink that Logan Paul owns or whatever. And it was ended up being his friend KSI. I'm like, oh my god. So Logan Paul is beating down Seth on the outside, lays Seth on the announce table. KSI is standing there in this Prime get-up thing. Logan Paul goes to the top rope. Right when Logan Paul is getting ready to jump, Seth rolls off the announce table, pulls KSI on there. Logan Paul hit the biggest freaking splash you've seen, right through the announce table, right through his buddy KSI. I'm like, oh my god, that was epic. And then he ends up Logan Paul tries to go for the coast to coast, like he did at the last show he was at. He jumps off that top rope right into a super kick for Seth Rollins. That'll go down one of the best super kicks. That's like that you look for the RKO. That's kind of Seth Rollins' thing, is hit big time super kicks. Seth Rollins getting the victory here. I give it a 4-star. If y'all didn't, I don't care. I did. It was hell enjoyable. I loved it. Next up, we had the 6-woman tag to get 2 Hall of Famers on the card. So we had three Hall of Famers on this card. Becky Lynch teaming up with Lita and Trish Stratus versus Damage Control, Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky. You kind of knew the outcome of this match going in because you're going to get the face team over the heel team here. Becky and Bayley have been feuding for a while. You had Becky and Trish take the tag titles off Dakota Kai, Io Sky. Good match. Everybody kind of got their moves in. I ended up giving it 3.5. Becky gets the pin on Bayley. Whether that feud's done or not, I don't know if you end up putting a singles title on one of these two and feuding them with the title. But for the most part, I think that feud is done. But 3.5 star there. Next, we had father versus son. They said this was the second ever father versus son at WrestleMania. I sat here rattling my brain trying to figure out the first one. Duh. Vince versus his kids. I forgot all about that. I'm like, oh my god. Technically, it's the third. It's going to be Vince versus Shane and Vince versus Stephanie. And Ray versus Dominik. Oh, father versus son, so it'll only be one. Father versus kid is the third. But father versus son, yeah, it'd be the second. But Rey Mysterio and Dominik Mysterio. The entrances. Dominik, he left prison to come to the match, handcuffed. I'm like, are you kidding me? In a van with police officers and the whole nine. I'm like, oh my god, that just took it too far. And then coming out in a Ray mask, I'm like, okay, that's even taking it way too far. It was like, okay, come on. Boy's hardened by prison. Yeah, okay, whatever. Then Ray's entrance, yes. They needed to do that. We needed especially in this match, because of, talking about long-term storytelling. A lot of people you talk to about professional wrestling, that's a big thing. There's no long-term storytelling. Oh yeah, there is. This goes back to 2003, I think it was, when we had Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio for the custody of Dominik. We bring Eddie up in this feud all the time. For Rey to come out in a lowrider with Snoop Dogg, I'm like, that is so Eddie. I mean, that was like so like Eddie T-Man. But yeah, that was really pretty tight. And then match was actually pretty good. We had Judgment Day come down and get involved, and then we had the Latino World Order come down. Oh, I love it. Legado del Fantasma. Them being part of the Latino World Order, Rey Mysterio. I love it. Reported it on Friday Night SmackDown. And then big spot of this was there was a jacket laying on the ringside with a chain under it. I guess Damien Priest laid that there for Dominik. So Dominik goes over and picks a chain up. The referee was had his back turned because everybody's at ringside. Bad Bunny's at ringside. And Bad Bunny takes the chain from Dominik. And then Ray ends up hitting the move, getting 1, 2, 3, and Rey Mysterio beating his son Dominik at WrestleMania. The newly inducted Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. His mask, though, it was kind of a vintage mask for him, kind of a Great Muta style. I thought that was kind of a homage to the Great Muta as well. Going to the Hall of Fame. But do we get a Dominik versus Bad Bunny match at Money in the Bank or SummerSlam? Throwing it out there. Bad Bunny, Dominik Mysterio. Won't be bad. And I think SummerSlam was in Rio, and he's been pimping it some. Let's take a look at that. So let's see, which one's in Rio? Oh, Backlash. Oh, that's the next show too. Same one, Puerto Rico, Backlash, May 6th. Okay, we could possibly see I love it. May, Backlash, Puerto Rico, King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi, Money in the Bank in London. The next U.S. pay-per-view is SummerSlam in August. That's at least been announced already. That's funny. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But Rey Mysterio getting a victory there. I didn't give it 3.5. It's a pretty decent match. Next up, if this doesn't go down as one of the greatest matches in the history of WrestleMania, period WrestleMania, not even just women, but this is a guaranteed, damn 100,000% the best women's match ever in the history of WrestleMania. We had Royal Rumble winner Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, the SmackDown Women's Champion. Oh my God. What a match. There's nothing else you can say. There was one point where Charlotte went for the pin. The look on her face was like, I can't beat Rhea. Period. That was the look. And she's almost in tears over it. The shock that Rhea kicked out of that. Just some of the moves these ladies did. Holy snap. Again, there's no words that can describe how awesome this match was. I give it 4.5. Easily the best women's match in WWE history. One of the best women's matches I've ever seen. Lights out, Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa. Check it out. But yeah, this match is definitely right there. 4.5. If people give it 4 3/4, I'm not going to argue. I'm never argue for a quarter star anyway, but still, it's just an amazing match. 4.5. By far. Rhea Ripley, your new SmackDown Women's Champion. What's next? Can we have a repeat next year? Can we do this match again next year? Hell, let's do this match again at Backlash. Because there's been matches before. Chris Benoit, Triple H, Shawn Michaels at Mania. They had just a good match at Backlash. Book it now, boys. Let's do it. Run it back. Another 25 minutes of these two women going out there and tearing each other apart. I'm in. Next up, we had Miz come out. And, we had that happen. And then we had Pat McAfee come out. Why, I don't know. And then we had McAfee challenge the Miz. Why, I don't know. And then we had Snoop Dogg go, we should have a match. We have a referee. Yeah, then we had a match. Pat McAfee versus the Miz. Are you freaking kidding me? Why? I don't know, because we were so hot from that women's match, you had to cool it off and do something to build up the main event. But I was afraid, because it was getting late, I was afraid you were going to kill your crowd at that point. We had a 3-minute match, Pat McAfee, Miz. McAfee gets the victory. I give it 1 3/4. Then we had some dude come out and start singing. I'm like, seriously right now? I guess he was singing the Uso song. I don't know what the hell he was singing. I wasn't paying attention. I was half asleep. And I woke up enough to watch this next match. We had the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles on the line. Champions, the Uso, 800 and some odd days, going up against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. For those of you who haven't followed Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I'm sorry. October 9, 2009, Ring of Honor Classic Contenders, Collinsville, Illinois. First ever Ring of Honor show. Briscoes are on this, House of Truth, Davey and Omega, one of my favorite matches of all time. Became a Kenny Omega fan that night. Roderick Strong come out. Oh, that guy looks pretty talented. I've seen him. And then some fat white guy. My words to J-Man. Who's the fat white guy? You gotta watch. Okay. Oh my God. His name was Kevin Owens. Holy snap. Fast forward a year. And I went to these shows live. I still have DVDs as well. July 23rd, 2010. Ring of Honor, Chapter 2 Hate. Kevin Steen versus El Generico. I think this is the beginning of their 2-year-long blood feud. Fast forward, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. These guys, and we've seen the video pack, some of the video packs. You ain't getting it all. You ain't getting Ring of Honor shit. Best friends, feud, blood feuds, best friends. Come into NXT. Sami Zayn came first, won the NXT title. Kevin Owens came out, took him out, beat him for the title. Referee stoppage. You've had these guys together. You've had these guys apart. We put them back together in the whole Uso storyline now. We have a match like this. There's not a lot you can say again with this match like it was the women's match. I mean, I could sit here and list every move that happened. I didn't write them all down. I just enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the crowd. I enjoyed knowing the history of these two guys, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Where they started, 2009. So 13, 14 years ago, I watched these guys in a little auditorium, a little freaking room with 100 people. They just main evented night 1 of WrestleMania, winning the WWE Tag Team titles over the Usos, the longest reigning in history. Just the raw emotion, just this crowd is just losing their mind. Even though we all knew months ago this match was probably going to happen, we all knew this was going to be the outcome. Didn't change it. 4 3/4 star. Just utterly amazingness. How talented these 4 guys are. Put the Usos in there too. Jay and Jimmy. Oh my god. There's a couple times where Sami hit 3 haluva kicks at the end on Jay. I was expecting one of those Jay to basically stop him. I was expecting a turn there, not a turn, but kind of a, Jay to come back. He didn't. I mean, is this the end of the bloodline? I mean, maybe not. They're definitely going to take a break. I think Usos and Roman will take a break after Mania. But yeah, 4 3/4 star. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, you're new. WWE Raw and WWE SmackDown tag team titles. I love how they say on TV about this match, they say the unified tag titles. But if you go and look up the lineage of the titles, which I like to do sometimes, it's kind of cool to look back on some of these titles. I believe, unless they've updated it, they are still listed separately. Let's find them here. Night 1. Oh, it just says, okay, it does say unified titles now. Let's see here. Okay, there's a link to unified titles, then you go within it exists, which one team holds both the following titles, the Raw tag titles. Let's see, get the title reigns, and then the SmackDown tag titles. I'm curious, I haven't looked at these in a while. I want to see what they've done with them. Let's see, list of Raw tag team champions. So yeah, it had the Usos had the titles, 316 days of the Raw titles, and then Sami Zayn and Owens had one night, which that was yesterday. Same way with the SmackDown tag titles. Usos had them 622 days, and then his match was also for the Usos Raw tag titles. So yeah, they're technically still separate titles. So there's 2 titles with 1 holder, which makes no sense. But okay, whatever. That's what we're doing these days. That's what we can do, I guess. But at the end of the day, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, your new WWE Tag Team Champions. That's night 1 of WrestleMania. Night 2, looks like we get Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew. We get that women's showcase fatal 4-way tag. Edge and Demon in the Hell in a Cell. Ooh, Lesnar and Amos. That's a good match to go get seconds. Wouldn't be there to Jay Cooks. Raw Women's title, Bianca and Asuka. That could be really good. And obviously, we're in the weekend with Roman and Cody. Going to be good as well. That is WrestleMania Night 1. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.